The Immortal Hulk, issue number 26. That stony law I stamp to dust, and scatter religion abroad to the four winds as a torn book, and none shall gather the leaves. My name is Robert Bruce Banner. You know me better as the Hulk. I am broadcasting from a secret location under the aegis of Shadow Base, an organization that was, until recently, tasked to vivisect me and create weapons for my body. For this purpose, they were allocated a black budget, a covert, deniable revenue stream funneled from our nation's military of $1.2 billion. That money could have been spent on education or medicine, or helping build the renewable energy infrastructure we'll need to survive the coming century. More likely, it would have been spent on more guns, or more bombs, or more camps. But, well, that's the world we live in, isn't it? The human world. Let's talk about the human world. Hey, sorry I'm late. I had to lose the paparazzi. Figured this was something you didn't want the whole country to see. And on that note, I gotta ask, what the hell are you doing, Bruce? Amadeus Cho, the man of the hour. How have you been? I don't think we've actually talked since I was the Hulk, since I took that off your shoulders. Temporarily. But it was a kind thought nonetheless, and it helped force a change in perspective. Yeah, I watched your little pirate broadcast, your manifesto. Tell me, Bruce, do you still play Minecraft on peaceful? I don't think we have much time anymore for playing games. The royal we. You know, I had my own brush with Hulk syndrome. I had a voice in my head that thought it knew better. So, again, for real, what the hell are you doing? In a video manifesto released onto the World Wide Web, the Gamma Mutate Bruce Banner officially declared war against the human species. Who? Tell me, who did he actually declare war on? Oh, he wants to end the human world. He said it himself. What else can that mean? Reports of a red-winged creature tearing open the wire fencing with clawed feet, then protecting the detainees as they escaped. A high concentration of gamma radiation was found in the area, suggesting a connection with... We're looking into it. Tonight on Rock's Line, is your child rebellious? Afraid of you? Unusually quiet or thoughtful? Does your child have Hulk syndrome? And is there a cure? Shadow Base Site G, a hidden location. Hulk syndrome. I think that was something Amadeus Cho came up with, Dr. McGowan. Essentially, gamma mutation has been known to cause symptoms similar to dissociative identity disorder. It happened to him, and to me. Jen Walters seems to have it now. Amadeus suspected it's because we all took our gamma from Bruce, who already had DID when he became the Hulk. So, gamma transfer reflects the mental condition of the gamma donor? Amadeus thought so. His theories are usually optimistic in that way. Optimistic? Well, the other option is that Bruce also has Hulk syndrome, on top of his pre-existing DID condition, which is less optimistic since he can level a city on a whim. Not to mention someone just gave him $1 billion. It's still Shadow Base's $1 billion, Dr. Sampson. Actually, more like 300 million now. We spent a lot. A lot of the rest is earmarked. Maintenance costs, salaries for those who didn't defect to other black budget groups like Orcus or to the private sector. We lost our mercenary force that way, unfortunately. The ones who survived, plus half the monitors, most of admin. You're not worried about what they know. They don't know about this place. Site G was a pure science facility, and science team stayed loyal. Anyone with clearance to know about this place is with us. So you all just went from fighting Bruce to... following him, just like that. Well, remember 14 was the only thing keeping us out of jail, and he's gone. But also, our job was to study Bruce Banner. Now he lives here, and with what we're learning from him, we can do so much good. Del here, we could give him his life back, give Rick Jones his face back. How much of this is guilt talking, Doctor? He's right, Leonard. What he's saying, those broadcasts he's making, I honestly think he's right. I believe in Bruce Banner. Do you? Footage of the Gamma Mutate Rick Jones hovering over a performance by a local punk band whose name we cannot repeat on air, his presence clearly energizing the crowd. Senator Jeffrey Patrick described Banner's rhetoric as potentially ruinous to impressionable minds. Banner may be more dangerous to society than the Hulk, he continued. Wearing a green outfit, one of many seen at the disturbance. In the footage, the rioter can clearly be heard to yell Hulk smash before hurling a can of tear gas back at... They're all criminals, every one of them, from the leaders on down. Head of Shadowbase has been identified by whistleblowers as Charlene McGowan. McGowan, a convicted drug dealer and manufacturer, remains wanted by the authorities for her part in... the new Shadowbase commander. She's the key. She always was. Rick told me how she put her life on the line for her team. Those who stayed with the base, with her, she has their absolute loyalty. And she's chosen to work with me, so I have their absolute loyalty. What happened to the old Shadowbase commander? Okay, I have another question. I'm a Gamma guy, Bruce. If I die, do I stay dead? Personally, I wouldn't risk it. I don't think there are hard and fast rules. General Ross is still dead, so is Walter, yeah. But I read that he came back the first time. Which reminds me, you know your reporter friend wanted to interview me about you? She's more the Hulk's friend. Yeah? Which Hulk is that, Bruce? Do I know him? Because I don't think the Hulk I knew is around these days. The Green Scar. He and the Professor are dormant right now. I'm not sure why. Uh-huh. The two most heroic Hulks aren't up for this, but you're not sure why. Come on, dude. Look, I know about anger. You know I've struggled with that. I know what it's like to want to save the world. I don't. The world can't be saved, Amadeus. Not the human world. Not the world as we currently understand it. Earth's climate is changing rapidly. The world humans built is not sustainable. But there's still short-term profit to be made, so the same systems are allowed to continue. Over all our dead bodies, if need be. Bruce, look. The math of this is bad. I'm not saying it's not. But there's still hope. We still live in a world of heroes. I don't believe that anymore. But let's talk about the heroes. Most of them just reinforce the status quo, which, as I said, is unsustainable. I'm including people like Stark, Richards, Brashear, genius technologists, all of them. But when it comes to green technologies, nothing they build seems to take. Wakanda is far ahead. Krakoa has possibilities, but the world doesn't want to know about either. When things get bad, I suspect they'll leave the rest of us to our mess. And I know, there are the young people, and you all. You do give me hope. Some hope. But you won't change anything either. None of you will. Not unless what is stopping you is removed. I am not a hero. I can't save the world. I'm not that person anymore. I can't build what needs to be built. But I can smash what needs to be smashed. And when you look at the human world, is there nothing in it that makes you angry, that needs to go? Are you that much of a hero, Amadeus? Or are you still a Hulk?
Because we do not need another Hulk, and yet that is what they wanted to do. The creeps in the deep state. Make more of him, using your money to do it. $1 billion of taxpayer money handed to crooners and junkies.
Secretary of Superhuman Affairs Senator Kevin Krask publicly denied reports of so-called Hulk funding going to... I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm getting word the senator has just resigned.
Look, I'm no Hulk lover, but the government clearly cannot be trusted to fight him. The public sector has to step in here. This is Mike the Mike Jacobs on Shock Rocks Radio asking, begging, for someone who actually works for a living to tackle the Hulk. And now, a word from our sponsors.
All right, Jackie, first order of business. Welcome to the new offices. They come with our new distributors, our new staff, our new presses, and all our new money. They also come with a reminder. If we want to keep these nice new things, we've got to produce every single day. So, our second order of business, our ongoing meal ticket as a national newspaper. You know the drill. The Daily Bugle has Spider-Man. The Arizona Herald has the Hulk. What have you got? Well, since we broke the Shadowbase story, there have obviously been some pretty seismic developments. Right. Banner corroborating. That did us no harm at all. Sorry, could I break in here? Gabe Flores, I'm the new head of legal. Miss McGee, to get the Shadowbase story in the detail you did, you were embedded with the Hulks for some weeks. How close to them would you say you were? I wasn't just an eyewitness for the Shadow Base raid. I helped plan it. Talking to McGowan, persuading her to turn on 14, that was my idea. I didn't know it'd work out like it has. But 14 was going to have me killed. I'm not sorry. Oof, well, thank you for your honesty. But let's never mention any of that outside this room, please. It could be construed as, well, conspiracy with a known terrorist. Not to mention the potential implication that we manufactured the news on this one. You provide the pictures, we'll provide the Hulk. We're already being accused of monetizing Banner. Well, the good news is that after today, we won't be the only ones. That's tomorrow's front page. My sources say the government is ready to announce they're subcontracting anti-Hulk operations. Guess who the winning bidder was? You've almost certainly heard the phrase disaster capitalism. Catastrophes create opportunities for ruthless people to profit from them, economically or politically. And when the main means of profit is itself creating the catastrophe, runaway climate change, with all the resultant political instability it brings, we're left with a feedback loop, disaster by design. The human world is a world that destroys itself, and all who try to live in it, to make money for a tiny percentage of those in charge. That is the world that needs to end, and I can't end it alone. But then again, I'm never alone, am I? What's the plan here, Bruce? Is it to just break everything and hope things get better? Because I feel like we've seen that one lately. No, you're right. The Hulk is a big, blunt instrument. If it's going to be used, it needs to be carefully targeted. But I think it should be. I mentioned the unsustainability of current human systems. One of the major problems with those systems, as I see it, is a lack of consequences. Human cruelty, human short-sightedness, and yes, human anger. These things are currently being exacerbated, manipulated for profit. The profit of a few entities. Those entities, we are told, are too big to fail, but very occasionally, some justice is done. A fine is levied. Men with personal fortunes in the billions are asked to pay pocket change. Then they buy whoever they have to stop it from happening again. But what if you were to target one of these entities and make them pay? Actually pay? What if you never stopped? To answer your question, Bruce, no. I'm not a Hulk. Not anymore. I feel what you're feeling. I told you I know that anger. I've let it take me over. And it wasn't enough. I'm one of the smartest people in the world, and I couldn't solve the problems it brought. Look, you're my friend. I trust you, man. But if you're really planning this kind of move, you need to plan carefully. I love you, Bruce, but you're an angry middle-class white guy talking about revolution. That doesn't always end so well. I'll be watching you, dude. That could have gone better. I didn't lose my temper with him, did I? Oh, I wouldn't worry about it, Doctor. I lose my temper all the time, and I seem to muddle through. Thank you, Namor. And it was a good idea not to make yourself known. I don't think Amadeus would have reacted well if he thought we were a team. We've never quite been a team, Doctor, but we've always been an excellent non-team. This does remind me of the old days. I don't go for all that flowery talk, but I hate humans too. Spoken like a true Hulk. Now, let me give you my advice. Here's what's going to happen next. If there are no meaningful consequences for those who would use their power to engineer and profit from disaster, then we will create some. In 1 week, you're going to hear about a Hulk rampage. A targeted Hulk rampage against a particular entity. A declaration of war. Against those who would war on us.
Gentlemen, welcome. You may be wondering why I chose to address you in this manner, in this shape. Why I am now so open when once I practiced discretion. Put simply, I have learned proper perspective. In the recent war between humanity and the elves, we backed the elves. Treason, in any sense of the word. High crimes committed in public view. But what were the consequences? Petitions, think pieces, lackluster boycotts of our more obvious brands. Nobody important cared. So, let the word go out. I am Dario Agger, CEO of the Roxxon Energy Corporation, and this is my true form. Nobody will care. It's too difficult to care. This world is a maze of money and power, in which human beings lose themselves. They live their lives in the labyrinth. And I am the Minotaur.